We are at the top of the hour. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Welcome to Mastery Level Roleplay. My name is John McLeod, and you guys have just me today because Denny Grimes is on a plane headed to Phoenix, Scottsdale, presumably to spend the weekend with his wife. However, there is a big football game going on in the greater Phoenix area, and he might be attending that. I don't know for sure. So thank you all for coming on and playing all in today. That's awesome. Before we get started, if you look down at your screen and it has you listed as Sherry and you're not Sherry, please change your name to your name and put your location in there. Location's important because referrals do pass around in here. I actually got one last week from an agent on this call. So yes, referrals do pass around here. Make sure you have your location. Fair enough? And cameras on if you can. It would be most appreciated. I know in Whittier, California, they're in the conference room with a bunch of people, a little bit tougher. So awesome. Are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
Sweet. First, Alex, welcome. Alex has been in the business for 2 weeks. I got to talk with him a little bit before this call started, and his goal with this call is to get over his fear of making calls. Good place to start. And as I said to him, it's great to be on here and watching. Participating will help you immensely. If you're going to make a mistake in verbiage, in words, how you say them, voice inflection, anything, this is the place to do it. Because it costs you nothing to make a mistake here. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. I'm playing all roles today, guys. I'm admitting a few others. So, real quick, we have a system for doing this. Oh, look at it. Greg Luchak is here, and Greg is showing up as Sherry also. Greg, change your name, buddy. I would do it for you, but I can't spell your name.
Never had that happen on a Zoom. I don't know why it's doing that.
Now, listen, that's from our end. However, I can assure you I cannot spell your last name. So there you go. And Greg is from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He'll add that in there here eventually. And we're off and running. So guys, we have a system for handling virtually every objection. There isn't a magic pill. It's about practicing the conversation. Acknowledge, isolate, address, close. 4 steps. That's all it is. It is that simple. It is that simple. So we're going to cover a little bit about for sale by owners today, and we'll probably cover expireds too, because guess what? Those are big right now. If you're not seeing them in your market center yet, you will see them soon. Before we get started, like I said, we have a young man here, 2 weeks in the business, who is worried, I won't say worried, but concerned about having call reluctance and knowing what to say. So guys, those of you that have been around for a while, any words of wisdom or encouragement for Alex before we start jumping in here head first?
Practice, practice, practice.
There you go. Practice, practice, practice. Greg, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I guess the thing I tell my team a lot, and that we talk about quite a bit, is everybody when they first get on the phones has that feeling that you don't want the other person to answer, right? And after you do it over and over enough times, like everybody, inevitably you start getting to the point where you want them to answer because you want the opportunity, right? And so once that starts happening, it's just a super liberating feeling, and it's worth it once you crest and get on the other side of that fear, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Greg. All right. So was requested to repeat the 4 steps again. Step 1, acknowledge. Acknowledging is simple. 3 words. I get it. That's all you have to say is I get it. You want to let them know that you're on the same side as the table with them. Isolate and clarify. The way I remember this is, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Other than your objection, whatever the objection is, what else is keeping you from moving forward? Notice I didn't say, is there anything else? What makes them think? Is yes, no, and people are conditioned to say no. So if you ask them a yes, no question, they're going to say no, and you're not going to get to the root of the problem. Step 1, acknowledge. Step 2, isolate. Once you have isolated, you would then have permission to address the real problem. The biggest challenge we all have is when we're addressing a problem, we're not addressing the real problem. That's why we want to isolate it, is to figure out what the real problem is. Then you address, and the address is real simple. If I could, would you? If I could handle this, if I could solve this, are you ready to move forward? Yes. Solve it. And then the last step is close. We've solved this issue together. Sign here, press hard, 3 copies for those of us old enough to remember that. So, Augustina,
Yes.
you are dealing with a for sale by owner right now.
Yes, I am.
Awesome. And as I recall, this for sale by owner is really interesting because they have a relative in another state 2,000 miles away that is in the business.
Yes.
Excellent. Would you like to be the agent, or would you like to be the seller in this case?
I would like to be the agent.
You would like to be the agent. Awesome.
Yes.
Stepping up right away. Who would like to be the seller who has a family member in another state coaching you how to sell your home on your own without hiring Augustina? Who's ever had somebody like that before? All right, Joey, you want to be the tough seller?
Yeah, that's fine. Go
Awesome.
ahead.
All right. I don't have a timer. I'm not that cool like Denny, so I'm going to do it on my phone. 4 minutes. All right. All right. So you're going to start off with Augustini, ask the question.
Yep.
And then Joey's going to give the objection. We're ready to roll.
Okay.
And go.
So, Maury, I get it. Your son is in Minnesota, and he's a broker in Minnesota. He's doing very well, and he even has robots. Is he going to bring the robots down to your property to show the property when you put it on the market?
Well, this is the thing. I'm trying to do it on my own and save as much money as possible. And he's really walking me through the process. And then, like, if I really needed him at that point, then I'd go ahead and hire him.
Okay. Other than that, what else is holding you back from making a great choice of hiring me?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like as if he's giving me the best deal, and you know, I feel like I've already made that decision. I mean, what do you have to offer that's anything different?
I'm glad you asked, Maury, and I would love to get together with you to show you what we have to offer. When's a good time for me to come and show you that property, show you what we got?
Well, I don't know. I mean, next Tuesday, I guess we could do something in the morning, but I mean, I really kind of feel like my mind is made up. I mean,
All right, so let's back up a little bit, Maury. What was the reason that you were selling the property to begin with?
well, I want to end up getting back out to Minnesota so I can be closer to my family.
Okay.
And, you know, and so just end this chapter of my life. I'm retired now, so I'm going to head to Minnesota and be close to everybody that's out there for me.
Okay, I can appreciate that. And I remember you told me that you live 30 miles away from the property. Tell me a little bit about how you would go ahead, like if you've got someone who wants to see it and show it, how would you do that?
Well, I haven't really thought about that, to be honest. I kind of just, as I'm not a realtor, but you know, I am trying to sell it on my own. I got to save some money so when I move. But you know, I was thinking about maybe setting up an open house or something, or you know, doing some showings as long as they're appointment only, and I can just show up there, I guess.
Okay, so other than the wanting to save money, what else? What are the other reasons why you're thinking of doing for sale by owner?
Just money. I got to save some money. I mean, the market now, it seems like it's harder to sell anyway, so prices are going down.
So Maury, if I could show you a way that we can get top dollar for your property based on what's going on in the market would that be something that you'd want to know about?
Well, of course, but I mean, I definitely see at least giving it a try myself now for at least 30 days.
So Maury, what's more important to you, getting up to your family in Minnesota or getting the house sold quickly so you can get up there?
Getting to the family.
Mm-hmm. So would you agree that selling the house sooner would be a better thing for you to have to do?
Well, of course,
Okay.
I have to get the number. I have to get my number or
Okay.
I can't.
I get it. I get it. So let's do this. Let's get together so I can show you, put together a plan. I could show you what we do to get your house sold as quickly as possible for top dollar as it's dictated by the market so that you can get to your family in Minnesota.
Okay, let's do it Tuesday. I got like a 10 a.m.
Okay, that's fine with me. We'll see you then.
Okay, have a good day.
Time,
Good job.
right there. Perfect. Okay,
I was trying to be tough.
Augustina, how did you feel?
I felt good because I have this thing in front of me that says acknowledge and everything else, and I'm just following that. So I think I did okay.
Okay. Awesome. Joey, how did you feel? Just hold your space bar down there, Joey. You ought to be able to come back. Whoop, or he hung up. Okay. So Joey didn't feel good because he's now off the call.
I crushed him. I crushed
You
his
did not
heart.
scare him that much, Augustina, I promise. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the things that I wrote down and some opportunities that I wrote down.
Okay.
You did a great job of staying with the system. Okay.
Mhm.
As long as you practice the system, it becomes second nature.
Mhm.
Other than that, great. And you asked an open-ended question as opposed to, is there anything else? I love that. Some opportunities, and you can go back and use this with that seller. And what's the seller's name, by the way?
Maury.
Okay, so you pretend you're Maury. So Maury, if you're going up to Minnesota to buy a property up there, would you let me represent you?
Yes.
Your
Oh, no,
son
I
is
would-
up there.
Because my son is up there. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it would. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Your son's a market expert in Minnesota, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, he is. Robots.
Is he a market expert in Fort Myers, Florida?
Well, he knows the area a little bit, but he's just such an expert where what he does, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
Mhm.
you know, I grew up in upstate New York, and however, I would never try and represent or put myself as an expert in that neighborhood because I'm not there every day. And then you let
Yeah.
that sink.
Yeah.
He mentioned a couple times saving money. You left
Mhm.
that dangling.
I know.
And you could go back and say, you know, so Maury, it sounds like you're interested in saving money. Let me ask you, what's more important to you? Saving money or making money?
Okay.
And you slow down the making money side of it. Okay. What's more important, saving money or making money?
Okay.
The answer will always be making money, which will allow you to go back to market expert. Meat thermometer. Do you remember what the meat thermometer is? That's where you're gauging the temperature of the market.
Okay.
The question would be, you know, Maury, let me ask you this. Do you feel right now the market as a seller is working for you or against you? Now, what do you guys think out there? How are your markets going? Are you seeing inventory rise? The number of expires and for sale by owners rise? Alex says a seller's market in Scottsdale. It's always a seller's. You know, it's always a seller's market. Every market's a seller's market as long as you're priced right.
Mm-hmm.
And every market's a buyer's market as long as they're priced right. So this is where you're gauging their perception. It does not matter what he says.
Okay.
The reality of it now, though, is days on market is climbing almost everywhere in the country. And if that's happening, their house becomes worth less tomorrow than it is today. That is the biggest single fear a seller has, is that, you know what, when I wake up tomorrow, my house is going to be worth less than it is today. That's going to be their motivation. That will allow you to start breaking things down to the ridiculous on a for sale by owner.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one we're going to do, I need a volunteer for a seller and a volunteer for an agent. The next role play, staying on the for sale by owner, is practicing breaking the cost of the commission down to a ridiculously low number. Any volunteers before I start calling people out?
I'm good.
Come on now. Don't leave Al Baxter hanging. Oh, he didn't jump out. Okay, somebody else did. So Al, are you up for this?
Yeah, I'm up to it.
Okay, awesome. Do you want to be the seller or do you want to be the agent?
Either one. Who else
Why
do
don't you be the
Pardon?
seller? I'll be the agent, so no one else is stepping up.
Okay.
All right. And Al, your objection is going to be the commission. All right. So
Okay.
Al, now that we've sat down and showed you what it looks like to be working together, are you ready to move forward?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm wanting to sell the house, but bottom line is I need as much money out of it as I can, and the market's fallen from where it was. And I need to save every penny I can, and to do so, I need to save that commission.
Okay, I get it, Al. And other than that, if I were free, is there anything, what else would keep us from working together?
Nothing I can think of. And right now, like I say, commission is the big thing.
Okay, great. So you mentioned you need to save money. The market seems to be going in a different direction and so forth. And if I was free, you'd hire me.
Providing we had an offer at a price that was acceptable.
Sure. Let's make those assumptions. If I was free, you would hire me.
Yeah.
Okay. First step, guys, you get the commitment. Okay, great. So Al, let me ask you this. If an agent like me came to you with a buyer and had a reasonable compensation built in and you still netted your number, would you be willing to accept that contract?
I was getting my number.
Yeah, you're getting your number.
Yeah, I would.
So, and I'm going to break this down, guys, as we're going. So what we just did is we just eliminated half the commission, right? And discovered the net is his concern. So now let's break this down a little bit further. So for the sake of argument, Al, how much commission do you think you would be saving if an agent brought you a buyer and you were compensating them? How much would you be saving by only hiring one agent?
Well, most agents are wanting to charge 5%, and my understanding is half that goes to the selling agent and half goes to the buyer. So
Okay.
our buyer's agent. So I'd be saving 2.5%.
Okay, and how much do you feel your home is worth?
Right now, right in the neighborhood of 600,000.
Okay, so that 2.5% equates to about $15,000. And for full disclaimer, for anyone watching the recorded version, we are not price fixing. We are not discussing commissions. This is purely for the example of it. So, okay, so Al, we're talking about $15,000. I get it. But yeah, 15,000, it's a good number. So, Al, and please don't take this question wrong, in the wrong light, but how many homes have you sold?
9.
9? And did you sell them all as for sale by owner?
No, 2 of them, 3 of them actually. 3
3 of them by for sale by owner. Okay. All right. Excellent. Good. That's, you know what? That is better than most, Al. So let me ask you, I've been doing this for 18 years. I've sold over 600 homes. Do you think that the experience of doing this day in and day out and paying my mortgage and putting my kids through college with real estate as my career would give me a little bit of an advantage over somebody that maybe has only sold 1 or 2 homes on their own, as far as negotiating goes.
Absolutely.
Okay. And if you were to put a number on that, how much do you think, or how much would you expect the experience that I have could bring to the table versus your experience?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know.
So he's not
10,000.
giving an answer because he knows I'm backing him into a corner, right? We only have to save $15,000 here. I don't want to put my DNA on it because he might say, oh, you could probably do $20,000 better for me. Done, home run. I just made him more money. So this is why you want to get that number from them. So Al, you know, what do you think? Do you think it's worth maybe 1 or 2%?
No, 10,000 maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what we're talking about now is about saving you that $5,000. There's 2 places that contracts typically fall apart. Do you know what they are?
Financing or appraisal would be 2 areas.
Yeah. Well, financing and appraisal, we can count them as one, and then the home inspection would be the other.
Right.
So again, do you think that the expertise I bring to the table could save you money on maybe repair items from the home inspection?
Mm.
The home's in pretty good shape, so I'm not too concerned about the home inspection.
Okay, great. And just curious, when's the last time you had it inspected?
I haven't, but I've maintained it real well. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's pretty close.
Okay. Well, if something came up in an inspection that you would have wanted to know about, you'd probably take care of it, right?
Most likely.
Okay. Well, again, with the negotiations of over 600 transactions behind me, do you think in a situation like that, I might be able to help you manage that and save you some money?
Possibly.
Okay. How much do you think we could save?
Depending on what was found in the inspection, but I imagine anything 5,000 or less.
Okay, so I just got all 15,000 without getting to the appraisal. So Al, the last place that and we're seeing this more and more is an appraisal that comes in low. So how many times have you had to go and assist in renegotiating an appraisal?
Knock on wood, I haven't.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I've been through that experience because it's happened and it happens more and more. Wouldn't it be helpful to know that you have an expert in that on your side?
Yes.
Okay. So Al, so far we've recovered all of that $15,000 plus. And we haven't even discussed the fact that you need to take your time, energy, and resources, meaning your own marketing dollars, to be able to take care of the home. And you have to keep all the liability of doing this on your own versus passing that liability and time, energy, and money off to me. What makes the most sense for you?
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds like going with you.
Okay. That was definitely longer than 4 minutes. We stopped to be able to break it down along the way. What sort of ahas did you guys have in listening to this? What did you like? What didn't you like? What can you look at and say, you know what, I can do this, or I would never do this? Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna ask, you pointed out that you've done over 600 transactions as a
What do you
new
do if
agent.
you've
like-
only been in the business for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Great question, Alex. So, Alex, how long has Kristen Cole been in the business for?
I don't know.
42 years.
Okay.
Okay, I know she only looks 39. So she's been in the business 40 to 42 years. So you can say our office, or the owner of our office, has been in this industry for 40 years plus. We're the #1 office inside the greater Scottsdale area. Do you think our experience is going to be able to help you out in this case. Because guess what? If you've been in the business for 5 years and you sold 3 homes, that's not something that you say, hey, I've been in the business for 5 years and sold 3 homes. I've got more experience. That's not what you're going to say. What you're going to say is, our office, our team has done this. Is it possible that I have the resources to be able to get answers to questions that you could never have anticipated? Did that
Yeah.
help?
All right, makes sense. Yeah, so just
All right.
use basically your team to your advantage, like your office and
Who do you have around you? You know, and shout out to Greg here in out in Colorado Springs. I know that there's agents in his office that are new on the luxury side. Greg has been a stalwart in the luxury community out in Colorado Springs for quite some time now. They would go to him. I said, Greg, I got this luxury listing out here, this opportunity. I don't know what to do. Help. Same thing. You would approach it the same way. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. What else did you pick up
Thank
on,
you.
guys?
John, I thought the
Yeah.
way, so I thought you could follow whatever your value proposition is, and I love how you started to dig out the value proposition. I got expired calls going on by me, but I love how you went to illuminate the value proposition with things like appraisal, with things like inspection, things like that they don't understand the value with, just because a lot of FSBOs don't think that far ahead. But to me, I also think how you kind of picked it out, whatever your value proposition is, you can definitely lean on, right? So like my team has in-house staging, in-house video, really nice photography, things like that we work with that are available to a lot of us. So I mean, you know, Mr. FSBO, are you confident that you have a photographer that can go in that can make your house look like it belongs in Better Homes and Gardens, right? Like, do you have something like that? Can we agree, Mr. Seller, that do you think it's important in today's day and age when every buyer is looking online first? Do you think it's important that our photos look amazing? Yes. How are you handling the photos, Mr. Seller? Right.
With my
Oh,
iPhone.
I have a photography. I'm going to do my thing. Do you have the capability to make your photos look like they belong in Better Homes and Gardens? Yes, you do. Okay, cool. Do you have a stager on retainer with you that'll make your house look like it belongs in Architectural Digest? Okay, do you have a video guy that's going to have you walking through the property that looks like it could be on HGTV, right? So like whatever the value proposition is, whether it's in the marketing, whether it's in the expertise and the experience and things like that, I think I really liked how you started to like peel away at that and show your own value for sure.
Awesome.
But
Thank
you
you.
can, I think you can do it with other value propositions. You don't have to
There-
do it with
there
the
are so
600
many of them.
experience. Yeah.
And Greg thank you for that, Greg. Greg brought up some great points. Photography. So guess what? More money is lost in home value by poor photography.
Mhm.
It is, I am just shocked the number of people that will take their cell phone and hold it in a mirror with their hands sticking through the bathroom door to get a
Mhm.
picture. Nothing sells a home better than great photography. The reason being is if they say no to the pictures, they're never going to see the house. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Guess what? Great pictures are worth 1,000 great words. Lousy pictures are worth 1,000 insults. And it's really difficult to recover from that. So these are all things that people take for granted. They think it's really easy. Let's just throw some pictures up there. It doesn't work that way. You throw pictures up there, everyone says no.
Mm.
You want them to say yes. Now, here's another little tidbit that Denny and I came up with yesterday morning on the Recon roleplay call. When you're talking with, it doesn't matter what the seller is, it really applies very well to for sale by owners, is something like this. Did you know, Mr. Seller, you have to sell your home twice to 2 buyers? Now, how many agents on here believe you truly have to sell it to 2 buyers? If someone hires you, did you know you have to sell it to 2 buyers? Who, Alex, you raised your hand. Who are the 2 buyers?
Oh, you have to sell it first to the buyer's agent, right? And then for the buyer's agent to want to show it to the buyer.
I like that. I like where you're going with that. Think of it this way. The 2 buyers are whoever buys the house and the seller. Your seller is your first buyer because they have a price. Let's say it's $500,000. And guess what? If you don't sell it for 500, if you can't find somebody to buy it for $501,000, that seller just bought their house back. Think of that in the conversation. So, Mr. Seller, I know this is what you want. That's why you're selling on your own. Did you know you have to sell it to 2 different buyers? Well, what do you mean? I just need to get my number. He says, yeah. If you don't get your number, you just bought your house back. Wouldn't you like that? She smiled, or could it be someone texted her on another screen? All right. Augustina, did that help you with your for sale by owner?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. I need 2 volunteers to go through expireds. We're going to dig deep into new leads this week. I already picked on Al. Don't make me pick on someone else. Pam's leaving.
John, this is Caleb. This is Caleb Klassen, agent on
Hey,
my
Caleb,
team.
how you doing?
Expired.
Doing good. How are
So
you?
he'll be the realtor.
All right, we have a realtor for expires. I need a seller who's annoyed at real estate agents.
I'll be the seller.
Awesome. Who? Oh, Neil, right?
Yep.
All right, Captain Neil Picard, you are going to be the crabby seller. Caleb,
Awesome.
this is how it works. You have 4 minutes, and you're going to start off by ringing the phone. All right?
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hi, who's this?
Hey, this is Caleb Klassen with Keller Williams Client's Choice. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. What's this about?
Yeah, I'm actually reaching out to you about your property there on 123 Main Street. I saw you guys pulled it off the market. Just kind of seeing and curious if you guys are still looking to get that sold.
No, I'm probably going to try and sell it myself.
Okay, can I ask what caused the change of heart?
Yeah, I listed it with you guys, was on the market for 6 months and didn't sell.
Actually,
I can do a better job.
Actually, if you'd like to sit down with me and kind of talk about how we get top dollar for your home, each office is independently owned and operated, so therefore we all run our businesses different. We're actually one of the top teams here in the city. I'd love to sit down with you and just kind of talk shop on how to get top dollar for your home.
You not using the MLS?
I use the MLS, but we have a lot of different strategies on how to get homes sold, especially in a tough market like this. We're selling just about more homes than anybody else.
Okay, so it was on the market for 6 months. Why didn't you sell it then?
Because unfortunately I wasn't the agent on it, so I couldn't sell it. I didn't have any buyers in the area at that point, that price point. So unfortunately I couldn't bring you a buyer, but if we present your home nicely, I'm sure I can bring you tons of buyers.
Also, because it wasn't your listing, you couldn't sell it.
Unfortunately, yeah. There's 3 things I think sell a home. It's price, condition, and marketing. I can make marketing a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, I think that's what you were lacking, and I think that's why the home didn't sell last time. Do you have some time this next week to sit down with me and talk about what it takes to get top dollar for your home?
Well, I'm going to try myself first, and then I'll tell you what. Why don't you leave your name and number? And if I can get it sold myself, then I'll probably give you a call.
I'll tell you what, before you do that, and before being a FSBO in this market's really hard. I'd hate for you to sit on the market for even more months, lose more value in your home. Before you do that, I'd strongly suggest to sit down with me and kind of see what we have to offer before you make such a big decision.
Okay, so you're gonna list it yourself. How much you gonna spend on the house?
How much were you planning to spend on the marketing to, really spread it around across the state and get buyers into your home?
Haven't thought about it.
Okay. Well, I could give you some ideas on how to do that. I have a FSBO checklist I could provide to you when we meet. What's your work schedule look like?
So wait a minute. So you're telling me that you're willing to guide me through the process of selling it myself?
Yeah, if you are open to sitting down with me and talking about how we sell homes, I'm sure you'll be convinced. And if you're not, I'll provide you with a FSBO security checklist on how to sell your home and how to sell it safely.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nicely done. Appointment set in 3 minutes. Nicely done. And yes, Captain Picard was not a friendly seller. That was awesome.
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
Some
I
takeaways.
might have earlier dug into, if I was Caleb, like I'm sitting there in my head and I'm thinking earlier, once the guy says FSBO, I start like wanting to break down. Okay, so you want to sell your house yourself. Talk to me about what that process looks like for you. Are you getting professional photos done? Who are you having to do those? Are you getting a professional video done? Because one thing I think that we really do well is we do a video where I'm outside and inside the house narrating all of the features of your house. So the value proposition is really front facing for the buyer. Are you going to get a video done? Are you going to get staging done? Right. And I start breaking down these costs from like, Mr. Seller, you're talking about spending $2,500 plus on your own house with no guarantee that you're going to sell it. The beautiful thing about working with a realtor is we don't get paid unless you get paid and you're happy with what you're walking away with. So it's a zero risk policy, right? I probably would have went that direction a little bit, but yeah, Caleb, that was awesome. He's 19 years old.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Alex,
right.
did you see that? Caleb's 19 years old. That's what practice does. So a couple things I wrote down. First of all, Neil,
Yes.
do we know where and why you're moving?
No.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So one question, guys, motivation is so important. You know, Neil, I get it. I get you frustrated. Let me ask you, if somebody came 2 weeks ago and they gave you a great offer and you were to accept it, where were you going to move?
Actually, you know, we're downsizing. We like the community, but now the kids are gone, so we're just gonna stay right here, just a smaller home.
Oh, cool. So the kids are gone. How does that feel? I haven't hit that empty nester yet. I'm still a few years away. How does that feel?
It's the best thing in the world.
Awesome. So what's important to you outside of making sure your kids don't come back for too long? What's important to you about downsizing?
I mean, we don't need this big home. It's a lot of home for my wife to keep up with. I mean, but we love the neighborhood. We have friends here. We have church here. So, and, yeah, like I said, no, it's just a matter of getting into that home where we have only one extra bedroom. Because as they start having kids, we're not looking to turn this into a hotel motel. They come, they visit, we spoil the grandkids, and then they go.
Okay.
We
So-
want to make that straight up front.
Guys, what we just got was massive motivation. Okay. The house is too big, doesn't want to maintain it, doesn't want the kids coming back, loves them. He'll take the grandkids, but kids got to go back home. Loves the neighborhood, loves the church. Okay. This is gold, because now you can use all of those emotions as leverage. You guys remember the bold law that says logic makes you think, emotion makes you act. We can be as logical as you want, unless you've got a really high C. Logic is not going to get you very far. Emotion will get you over that hump. So you say to Neil, you know, it sounds like getting a smaller home a little easier to maintain, that's going to keep you in the same church and with the same circle of friends is really important. Is that
Yep.
accurate?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Now we go to the 4 quadrants, we go to future pain, and we're going to stay here. So Neil, what's it like 6 months from now? What happens if your house isn't sold?
No, not 6 months. I figure I had it with you guys for 6 months. You guys didn't do anything. I mean, I'm retired. I'm gonna.
Well, regardless if it's me or you or the broker down the street helping you out, if your house isn't sold in 6 months, what's that going to do?
My wife's gonna kill me. I gotta get it sold within the next 3 months.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a contract out on your life. We need to get that taken care of.
Are you married?
I'm married. I understand completely.
Okay.
So Neil, let me ask you, if I can show you how we can get this done, would you at least meet with me for 15 minutes? No obligation.
Sure.
Okay. Now, I just got on his side with that, like going down that emotional side. And you know what? First thing I'm going to do is when he introduces me to his wife, I'm going to say, oh, so you're the contract killer. Going to have some fun with that. That's my personality. It doesn't work for everybody. All right. Keep in mind that a seller's goal is not to sell their home for the highest dollar they can sell it for. It's to sell it for the highest amount they can in the time they have. And now when we're face to face, that's when we start having discussions with, we're going to do all of this. It's going to include video. It's going to include professional photography that's going to be on the cover of Better Homes magazine or that quality. It's going to be like this. And after all of this, Neil, what happens if the market says no? In the back of my head, guys, I'm thinking two things: price reduction, or his wife's going to kill him, and we're going to a funeral. So, Neil, what happens if the market says no?
No, I mean, like I said, we got it. So she's already told me that, no, we've been in this home now 4 years. The kids are gone. She's not
Okay.
she's not going to be here this summer, and we're still in this home. So if I don't get it sold, one or two things are going to happen. Either she's going to kill me, or she's going to go and buy the condo that we're looking at by herself, and then I got to deal with this, and I'm not cleaning this house.
So it sounds like either outcome, you are not with your wife. Either she's gone, excuse me, either she's gone or you're gone, right?
Yep.
Okay. So
the house has to go.
right. And when you get out of role play now, when you get on the emotion side, you now can get empathetic and you can start feeling the same emotion and you can leverage that. When you have that emotional connection, all of the data that you present gets so much better received because there is a trust factor. Does that make sense? Awesome. All right. Who's next? Come on now. Alex, you ready to model this? I'm going to put you on the spot, buddy.
Why not?
2 weeks into this, okay? There are 4 steps, and we'll break this down. We're going to do this really slow so that you and everybody else follows along with the model. First step, we're going to isolate the objection, or sorry, we're going to acknowledge the objection. That's the first step. So let's, what's a common objection? Somebody throw one out. Either come off mute and shout it out or put it in the chat.
Interest rates.
Interest rates. Okay, great. Thank you, Joey. You know, Alex, I'd like to buy now, but interest rates are too high.
Okay. I acknowledge that
Just say,
that
I
is
get
your
it.
issue.
That's all you, just say,
Okay.
I get it.
I
Don't-
get
That's
it.
it. I get it. Now that's it, guys. That's step 1. It seems like you just want to start vomiting words. That's it. 3 words. I get it.
I get it. Interest
Step
rates
2.
have been rising.
No. Stop. I get it. You're
Okay,
done.
I get
That's
it.
the end of it. All right.
I get it.
I get it. Now you go to step 2, isolate. Other than the interest rates, what else is keeping you from buying a house today? Go ahead and say it.
Other than the interest rates, what else is keeping you from buying a house today?
Absolutely nothing, Alex. That's what I want to buy a house. I don't like the interest rates. Now we're going to clarify. All right. Augustina, I know you're not looking at the screen, but I'm calling you back here.
Okay.
We're going to clarify this on the interest rates. That's the only objection. What next question would you ask?
And he already said that it's only the interest
It's
rates.
just the interest rates.
So Alex, what about the interest rates is holding you back?
No, actually, I'm the
the-
buyer. You and
Oh.
Alex are tag teaming me as the agents.
Okay, so John, what about rates is the issue?
You know, Augustine, I saw last year that you could get it in 3 or 4, and it's up around 6. That just seems way too high. I think I'll wait till they come back down.
Okay, and John, remind me of why you were selling in the first place.
I'm a buyer. You don't know if I have to sell yet.
John, remind me about why you were buying in the first place.
I'm frankly, I'm sick of renting.
Ah, so
And
you're
Hershey,
renting.
we're going to get to that one next. It's a great one.
So how long have you been renting?
I've been renting now for 4 years.
For 4 years, okay. And John, when you're paying your rent, do you know whose mortgage you're paying?
Not mine.
Not yours. So at the end of the day, you're paying somebody else's mortgage, right?
Yep.
Okay, so, and at the end of the day, when it comes time that you're gonna leave there, what are you gonna leave with?
A suitcase and a toothbrush.
So that means you have no equity in the property that you are renting
Okay,
right
so
now.
Augustina, this was great
Mhm.
up until that point. Don't tell me. Ask me how much equity I have.
Oh, yeah. So John, how much equity do you have in the property that you're in now?
That I'm renting? None.
None. Okay. So would it make sense for you to sit down and make a plan to explore the possibilities of what's available right now?
Be firmer on it, Augustina, okay?
So John,
Wouldn't it make sense to own instead of rent?
Yeah. Oh, let me practice that. So John, would it make sense to own instead of rent?
Yeah, but the interest rates are so high. Now let's hold on right there, okay? Great job. You went 5 questions deep. We always talk about that, guys. When you start getting to it, you need to get below the skin. You need to go 5 questions deep to get to the meat and to get to the bone. Okay. So good job there. The next direction you want to go with this is, what's a high interest rate? Or tell me more about 6%. Why does that concern you? And we're going to go into the next objection because we just had one tossed in the chat here. The reason you do that, guys, is most people, don't realize that the payment may not be as much as they expected. So you ask them, what were you planning to spend? What are you spending on rent? And then you find that they can afford 6%. That maybe their mother or Neil is saying something like, Neil's wife is saying, don't do that because it's too high. It might or might not be. You don't know. What we do know is that rates may come down in the future, and we also know rates may go up in the future. We know right now that house prices could go down and they could go up. They'll probably do both. You headed out, Greg? Okay, we'll see you. We don't know what the future holds. Here's what you do know when you're dealing with a renter who is turning into a buyer. That they have experienced their rents increasing. And there you go, Neil, you got it, right? Your mortgage payment doesn't go up. With maybe a little fluctuation in insurance and taxes, but your principal and interest never goes up. So you are locking in an absolute budget that you can be comfortable with. 10 years, it's the same price. 10 years from now, your rent is tripled.
Yes.
Does that make sense? All right, so the next one, guys. What did they say? They want to wait for the market to go down. Excuse me. Someday this cough will be gone. What do they say? They want to wait till the market goes down. Couple volunteers. And again, Hershey, there's no magic pill. There is no one-liner that's going to convince them of anything. So we just talk them through it. Go ahead, Augustina.
Okay. So you want to wait. Oh, so John, I'm hearing you want to wait till the market goes down. Well,
Yeah.
How long are you willing to wait?
As long as it takes.
So John, if we saw the property that would really excite you, if we came across that, wouldn't you want to know about it?
Yeah, but if the prices are still where they are, by the way, what didn't she do in the system?
Acknowledge.
Isolate. She went right in. She went right into handling the objection.
Jump in that. Okay. I wanted to get to. Okay. So
I know,
John,
you're so excited you got the answer. You got to know if the answer is the right one.
So John, what about that is holding you back? Tell me more.
Other than that.
Other than that, John, other than that, what else?
No, that's it. I want the prices to come down.
You want the prices to come down. Other than, well, I think I just finished with other than.
So now you need to probe.
Yeah. So what about the prices? Like what are you experiencing out there?
It's been a run up for the past 2 or 3 years. At some point, they gotta come back down.
And can I ask you how long you're willing to wait again? Or is that, I already asked you that?
You already asked me that.
Okay. So John, what about the prices running up do
you want a little bit of help on this?
Yeah.
Pam, you're raising your hand. Go ahead.
And how will you know when the prices come down enough?
There's a great question. What's your gauge? Okay. What else do you want to know about this person?
So John, you say you want to wait until the prices come down. what do you think would be a reasonable price?
Okay. So now you're starting to hone in on my understanding of pricing. There's still a vital piece of information that you don't have.
Do you currently rent or own?
Thank you. That's what I'm looking for. I own right now. How are you going to play price changes? You know this information. I own. What's the next question?
So John, are you gonna sell the home that you currently in so that you can purchase the next home?
Information. That's good. That's good information to ask. You know, Neil, I'm kind of up in the air whether I'm going to sell it or keep it.
Okay, all right, okay. I understand that. So the price of this home, if you were to sell it, would that affect how you behave in terms of going after the next home?
Nope, I'm paying cash for it, and I already have the cash in the bank.
Okay, well, okay, wonderful. All right, so then if you're paying cash, is it more that you just think that prices are out of whack, or are you just trying to maximize your bang for the buck?
Oh, everybody wants to maximize their bang for the buck. I'm not giving you guys anything until you ask the right questions.
John, when you bought your home, were
Go ahead,
the
Terry.
values going up or were the values going down on your current home?
Good question. Good question. And not what's going to get me the overhead, but a good question. Hershey, your hand's raised. What do you got?
Quick, sorry, it's actually a question. Can we like ask them if, because their concern is the interest rate and they wanted to wait for the market, right? So can we ask them like, so what's your current interest rate and why is it that you wanted to wait until the market stops? Are you looking for investment properties or are you looking for a house or a home?
There's the question. At least from the
Okay.
direction I'm coming from, because I own my house, I have cash to buy it. Now, Hershey's example is a little bit different because I didn't have all the details on it. I own my house, I have cash to buy the next one. Am I moving into it or buying it as an investment?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't think of that.
Wouldn't that be good to know?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. So we can ask them that. Sorry.
Of course. You awesome. You want to buy this house? Is this for your own? Are you going to live in it? Or is this an investment property that, and you just drop it right there? You don't throw in things. Are you going to rent it? Is this for you or are you going to invest in this?
Oh, okay.
And they say they're going to invest in it. It's excellent. Are you going to, is this a buy and hold for you? Do you plan on renting it? Are you going to repair it and sell it? What's your game plan? So now you have enough information to keep digging into their motivation. And then you can ask the question, okay, so you wait 6 months. And this is the fun part. You wait 6 months, we're having this conversation. And your money in the bank has just dropped by another 4% because of inflation. And the house prices haven't changed. Where do you stand? How does that affect things? Remember, you've got to find a pain point. Without the pain point, you're not going to be able to get the emotions in them to move them forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Hershey, let's talk about your example specifically. Okay, now I don't know anything about your example, but would you play the buyer is this a buyer or a seller that we're concerned with right now?
With me, it's a buyer.
Okay. All right, so I will play the agent. Let's use your exact buyer, okay? And let's see, you're gonna wait for the market to go down. Hershey, I get it. Yeah, you looking for the market to come down. What else is keeping you from moving forward other than wanting the market to come down?
Well, I currently have an interest rate of 1.2, and you know, if I do buy a house now, I'm not going to be able to get the same interest rate that I do have.
How did you get 1.2?
Well, I bought it before, I bought it like about 10 years ago.
Okay. Is this a fixed loan or is it an interest only loan that adjusts?
No, it's actually a fixed loan.
You know what, Hershey? I'll tell you what. I wouldn't sell that mortgage under any circumstances. Do you need to sell? Do you need cash that's in that house in order to buy your new one?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
still have a lot I still have a lot of pay on this mortgage, and that's what's really stopping me. But we want to move to a different place, but because of the prices right now, it's just really high for me.
Well, let's take prices out of the mix. When you get to that new place, what's important to you about being there?
Well, my family's there, my kids are still small, and my in-laws are there too. So that's where we wanted to at least let our children grow.
Okay. So getting to be near your family, where your children are raised with your family and friends, certainly seems like it's hugely important to you.
Yeah,
When
because
when do you want to have this done?
I was really hoping that, before school starts
Okay.
again.
All right. And what happens if home prices don't change or they don't go down between now and when school starts?
Well, that's actually the thing. I'm really hoping, but if not, I really don't have a choice here.
Okay, so regardless of what happens, you still need to get there before school starts?
Not really, not really. It's just still a plan.
So let me ask you, how long are you willing to wait?
Maybe until, the prices go down, really.
Well, when's that going to happen? What if it doesn't happen?
That I'm really not sure.
What if there was a way you could have your cake and eat it too?
Sorry?
What if there's a way you could have your cake and eat it too?
Well, we're actually planning to purchase in cash, hopefully, but because of the high prices right now, that's what's stopping us. We do have a few saved, but it's really not enough.
Okay. Now I'm going to step out of role play because she is getting down financial road. And this is just one of those things that's going to be a little, I would be bringing in a lender at this point. The strategy that I would use would be, let's rent your existing house at 1.2%. Let's just rent it out. And you know what? The money you're making on the rent is going to cover most of your mortgage payment on the new place. It's not something you can cover in a 4-minute role play. I can assure you, you run the numbers, they're gonna be like, wow, look at this. The mortgage payment that I thought I had, I don't. So it takes a little bit more than a short conversation to be able to get somebody over that that hump, to be able to realize that. But Hershey, in your position, that person really needs to look at keeping the house and purchasing and seeing how much extra they're getting on rent versus their current mortgage. They may find that it's going to cover $2,000 or $3,000 of their new mortgage payment. This is the blind spot that many buyers have. And then when the interest rate question comes up, you can ask them if they think they're ever going to go down. Do you guys think at some point interest rates will go down?
Not really sure.
Okay. Well, probably at some point, right? Now, no one thinks they're going to go back down to 3 again. They're definitely not going to 1.2. But they're likely to go down again sometime. And over time, real estate is likely to go up again. So is it better to lock in and refinance later versus waiting it out? You might as well lock in the known while you can. So Anyways, 2:00, guys. Great job today. We are going to send out an email. I am not sure if we're going to be on next week or not. It's based on Denny's schedule because we're both traveling to Anaheim next week for Keller Williams family reunion. Those of you going to be there, look us up. We'll both be pretty highly visible. If you're not going to be there, we will see you the following week. All right.
All right. Thanks, John.
All
This
right,
was
guys.
awesome.
Have a great
Thank-
one.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.